And now, Kern's Kindness, a 23 ABC News special, sponsored by Sangera Subaru.
Thanks for joining us on this special edition of 23 ABC News. I'm Veronica Morley, your senior reporter. Tonight, we're taking a break from the headlines and turning our attention now to what brings Kern County together: kindness. All year long, we've met people who lift others up, change lives, and remind us what this community is all about. In this special hour, we're looking back at the stories that inspired us the most, the moments that showcase generosity, resilience, and the heart of our neighbors. This is the best of Kern's Kindness, a celebration of the people who make Kern County a better place, one good deed at a time. First up, we're taking you back to July, where I introduced you to a one-of-a-kind event at Bakersfield College that helped bring veterans back to civilian life.
The whole purpose we're here is for those people who raise their right hand, and many places they go, it'll be confusing and challenging. We want to make that transition and that journey a little bit easier for them.
Inside the Veterans Resource Center at Bakersfield College, every pin tells a story.
As folks come in, our students, staff, anyone who comes in and served in the military is able to place a pin in the different places that they've served.
And now this building is where they're finding their next chapter.
This building is named after Vernon Valenzuela, who was basically the godfather of veterans services, veterans care here in Kern County and nationwide.
A Vietnam veteran himself, Valenzuela became a leader in post-traumatic stress advocacy, founding Kern County's Vet Center on Golden State Avenue and fighting to bring local personalized care to service members. His legacy lives on in every corner of the center.
Oftentimes veterans have that imposter syndrome. They don't feel like they belong on a college campus, but it's up to us as a community to let them know that they do belong in these spaces.
Now the center is looking to expand its efforts outside the college, teaming up with several local veterans resource groups to offer a one-of-a-kind event. Unlike other events, this one focuses on closing the gap between national programs and local support.
So in the last year, there are over 250 veterans who ETS'd out of the military straight into Kern County. And so what we did is we sent them all a personal invite.
The symposium will feature a keynote from Master Gunnery Sergeant Scott Stalker and breakout sessions with 9 veteran-focused organizations. A dozen other groups, including Honor Flight and Portrait of a Warrior Gallery, will also be on hand.
The goal is to capture those veterans, bring them together, connect them with resources, connect them with their community.
As we know, Kern County always finds ways to honor the service and sacrifice of our veterans, but the community always shows up as well for our local sports teams. Let's go back now to November, where senior reporter Mike Hart shows us how a local tradition took community generosity and turned it into something colorful and chaotic.
It's time to let the fur fly. The Condors hosting their teddy bear toss game as thousands of people will make their annual pilgrimage to the arena to take part. I'm Mike Hart, your senior reporter. This has been my seat for more than 20 years as the Condors PA announcer, getting to witness this unbelievable moment. But the true impact of this night will be felt year-round.
Young in over the blue line to Young right circle, holding, pass in front of, shoot, they score!
It's comfort disguised as chaos.
You know, it's taken on a life of its own over the course of 27 years now.
It's a familiar sight, long lines of people. Bags filled with bears and other stuffed donations, dragging them through security, setting them up neatly, the anticipation building. And then
on the left wing, Petrov, his shot, score!
And that's when it truly begins.
Yes, it's really exciting to be able to throw the bears on the ice and go and collect them, but it's the work after the fact that is so important to our community.
Eric Arias is the president and CEO of the United Way Central Eastern California chapter. Yes, he's also a city councilman, but on this night, this event is more important.
It means the world to us to know that there's some child on the end of it that's going to be able to receive that bear in a moment of need.
True, when the bears hit the ice, the need is volunteers to pick them up. Most people in the first few rows are buried in love, if you will. Many donations get stuck in the net, but that's okay because every bear is brought in by a child, a parent, a fan.
Some teams have, the bears pre-purchased or pre-collected, and maybe a sponsor came in and donated 10,000 bears, and that's cool too, like, don't get me wrong, but ours is completely organic. We don't pad the stats with any extra teddy bears.
Once the trucks are filled and the bins are wheeled off, volunteers then spend the following Monday counting and sorting your gifts. In the history of this event, more than 170,000 bears have been collected and distributed to more than 80 agencies, including law enforcement, hospitals, human services, and more.
Most of those agencies will have a little guy like this in the back of their truck to be able to provide that, moment of peace to that individual's child as they're going through that rough situation.
I think they understand the impact that it has on so many kids and so many people in times of crisis over the course of the year.
So remember, every time you watch a bear fly through the air and land on a person, it's really being caught by a local child, providing a little peace in a moment of need.
Well, now let's shift from community giving to community joy. While the teddy bear toss showed how Bakersfield comes together in moments of compassion, we'll take you to June, where we saw one local woman spreading the spirit of kindness everywhere, one dance move at a time.
My mission is to normalize joy the same way.
June Miller tells me it all started back in April of 2021, trying to find herself during a difficult time in her life.
I was actually trying to come out of depression and stop caring about what people thought about me.
Knowing that she needed more than just to talk to someone, she started to spend her days walking around her neighborhood and listening to music. And then the idea came to her.
Finally, I said, you know what, I'm gonna dance.
Being a dance instructor herself, she took to the streets to share her passion. Interviewing her on the corner of Stockdale and Callaway, she tells me although this is one of her favorite spots to dance, it's not the only place she can be found.
And I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to every corner and normalize joy in this city because we need it more than anything right now.
At first, Miller says she wasn't greeted with open arms, telling me that people would go as far as throwing things at her, to yelling at her, and even sometimes calling the cops on her.
Joy is triggering for some people because that's not normal for a lot of people.
However, she didn't let that stop her. Miller says for the past 4 years, she set herself a goal of dancing every day, either in the morning or evening, to avoid the heat.
People started getting out of traffic and saying, hey, you're making my day better with your joy.
Since then, she's been spotted throughout the city by community members as she makes an effort to at least make one person's day a bit better and has a message for others.
Be intentional about your joy. We make time for things we don't like, so why are we not making time for things that we love to do?
Miller encourages passerbys to not only say hello, but join her on the streets in making someone else's day a bit happier. For 23 ABC News, I'm Ruby Rivera, your neighborhood reporter.
Coming up, 2 stories of impact, how one man is transforming youth across Bakersfield and how one woman is spreading kindness through every corner of her community. Our Kern's Kindness Special continues next. Continue our Kern's Kindness Special, highlighting 2 individuals who are making a difference in our community. First up, we begin with neighborhood reporter Eric J. Dockery, who takes us back to May with the story of how one local individual is leading with the intention of serving others.
Javon Dangerfield may describe himself as just an ordinary man, but in the community eyes, he is a catalyst for change. I'm Eric J. Dockery, your Bakersfield neighborhood reporter. A man who rose from humble beginnings drives his team to prioritize the community, and he firmly believes without the community, he has nothing.
I think a healthy leader is one that listens intentfully. I think a good leader can't be defensive because you're going to be critiqued a lot.
Javon Dangerfield wears many hats. He engages with the youth, advocates for the community, dabbles in film, and explores music and literature. He is committed to self-improvement and continuously studies ways to evolve into the best version of himself because he admits he is far from perfect.
I think I'm just more patient, I'm more understanding, I'm less judgmental, I used to think the mark of wisdom was what you said. Now I understand that the true mark of wisdom is what you do not say. What I withhold, how I control this.
Always actively engaged in the community matters, Javon battles for the causes close to his heart. One of the organizations he supports is Time for Change, a nonprofit that empowers local youth to pursue their aspirations.
I heard somebody say once that you can't change something if you don't love it. He honors his team, he honors the youth, he honors community members, and he just really leads with just a very genuine heart and just really sees the best in everyone.
I have a vision for this team being like the Avengers of young folk. And then building up young leaders, like I said, like if it all lives and dies with me, then I failed.
The team is dedicated to traveling between schools, organizations, and town hall meetings, seeking any opportunity to make a positive impact. Javon believes that if he can uplift just one person and inspire them to have confidence, he is fulfilling his mission of service to the community.
He always does these listening sessions and like these assemblies that really connect with the kids, and that's something I want to be able to do someday. I want to be able to just connect with someone. I want to be able to be that person that Javon was for that other person. So that really opened my eyes in what I want to do as a career and who I want to be as a person.
My life was better because you were in it. Like if when I die, people say that, man, that would be worth it. That would be worth it, because nobody's gonna remember what you wore or what you drove. They're gonna remember how you made them feel.
Javon says his initial vision for the organization was to help the youth of Bakersfield. Now he's aspiring to establish a Time for Change facility in every major city across America to empower young people nationwide to reach for their dreams. For 23 ABC, I'm Eric J. Dockery, your Bakersfield neighborhood reporter.
One local woman says we need to spread kindness to everyone and everywhere we go. I'm Maddie Vollmer, your Bakersfield neighborhood reporter, and she says that starts with one and expands to others.
This is Audrey Chavez. She was born and raised here in Kern County. I met her a couple months ago working on a story about her brother. Her brother, Ricky Montoya, died from AIDS in 1992. In 1993, Chavez founded Bakersfield's AIDS Project, and in the late 90s, Ricky's Retreat was established, which is Kern County's first AIDS hospice home.
There were no existing hospice homes at all in Kern County, and so I learned about hospice and being there for my brother, and actually became a certified hospice provider.
Not only does she run the Bakersfield's AIDS Project and Ricky's Retreat, but she's an advocate for immigrants and has a family-owned business, a local mom-and-pop shop called Martin's Meats and Deli.
We love it because it's a little space of our own, but it's a space that we love to be able to serve our community.
And she does serve the community. At Martin's Meats and Deli, there's a place called the Blue Shelf, where they have different items from canned food, can openers, hygiene products, and more. She also provides free Narcan to the community outside of the deli.
Just different things that people need and don't have money for, or they don't have access to. And so it's a spot that people can go in and feel at home to go ahead and take what they need as they need it.
And she says she does this because it's her community. Caring for others and letting them know love exists motivates her to do all she does, all while running a business. She says it's not difficult to share what you have, lend a helping hand, or simply lend an ear, because you never know what's going on in others' lives.
I think that it's important, I know that it's important to take the opportunity to do good every day that we can, because we never know.
Audrey says sharing kindness and being kind are easy acts anyone can do. For 23 ABC, I'm Maddie Vollmer, your Bakersfield neighborhood reporter.
You've seen stories from our neighborhood reporters, but our weather forecasters also made their way into the community this year to find out how people are making an impact. These stories and more next.
The ongoing animal crisis in Kern County has inspired many to volunteer at the local shelters. As of the latest count, Kern County Animal Services shelter staff say just over 400 dogs are in their care. In today's Kern Kindness, we introduce you to two of those volunteers who, on top of their full-time jobs, run social media pages dedicated to saving dogs. Walking through the shelter, you'll hear the typical sounds: barking, whines, and the clang of the kennel. On a busy Monday, two kennel mates, Zachy and Victory, trade out their noisy kennel number Q04 for a change of pace. The peaceful, quiet yard out back.
Oh my goodness! It's like you get so attached to these dogs. You wanna come up?
The two pups spend time in the yard with volunteers who use this backyard as a platform to find dogs their forever homes.
I try to take a really good picture of the dogs because a lot of the intake photos, the dogs are just coming in and so they're scared, and doesn't really depict what they look like.
There she is. Hi.
Denise Smith and Kelsey Vanderhorst are two of many volunteers who, on top of their full-time jobs, took up content creation to showcase the dogs in the local shelter. They run Facebook and Instagram pages independent from the shelter, full of videos that they record and edit themselves.
A lot of us have families, we have jobs, we have other obligations, but we always find a way to carve out time to come down here.
Okay. But it takes a lot. Like, we come here, one day I filmed 10 dogs in one day and went home and edited all the videos, and it was a whole day.
While they're in this fenced-in yard with the dogs, Denise and Kelsey try to get as many photos and videos as they can, even creating makeshift tripods to get that perfect shot.
This is the only place they really get a chance. I mean, in the kennels, they don't show well. It's so crowded in there, it's loud, it's distracting. This is a place where you can really kind of show who they are, give them a chance.
These videos give potential foster families or adoptive homes a chance to see the dogs' personalities outside of their kennel, giving those dogs a chance to find that safe space. Through consistent posting on Facebook and Instagram, Denise and Kelsey say they've gained a group of loyal followers, and the network of support even stretches across the country.
They share our pictures and our videos where they live, and they help arrange transport. And just through us volunteers, we have dogs in Washington, Oregon, all over the state of California. We have a dog in New Jersey, and we have a dog in Tennessee. Those dogs were all seen through somebody sharing our posts.
To give you an idea of the immediate impact that these videos can have, we first met Zachy on Monday to film this story. Later that same day, a new video was uploaded to the Kern County Animal Services Instagram featuring Zachy. On Wednesday, Zachy found her forever home.
In 2024, I did around 268 individual dogs that I brought from kennel out here to the play yard or took them on streets of Bakersfield. So my goal this year is 365 dogs.
While through their videos, they've had high success rates of getting dogs placed in rescue organizations with foster or adoptive families, they say there's still many dogs who need their time in the spotlight.
I think last year I featured, I think it was 202 dogs, and I think only 16 were euthanized. So it's pretty good success rate, I guess. I'd like that to go up, I guess. I'd like to have 100% success rate if I could.
Both Denise and Kelsey's social media pages are linked on our website, turnto23.com, along with a link to all of the adoptable dogs available at Kern County Animal Services. If you are interested in volunteering at the shelter, you can fill out an online volunteer application on the Animal Services website.
I'm 23 ABC Chief Meteorologist Brandon Michaels. In this week's Kern's Kindness, we meet a Bakersfield teen who's giving back by giving blood. And despite still being in high school, he's already reached a significant milestone. 17-year-old Stockdale High School senior Colin Stillwell's blood donation journey may not have gotten off to the most noble start.
First, when they came to Stockdale, it was to really get free food and to kind of take some time off of class.
But after his first donation, Colin realized what he had just done can make a big difference.
Learning about how I can save up to 3 lives with just one donation, I was saying, hey, I'm like a modern superhero with this, and all it takes is just me sitting in a chair for 15 minutes at most and just donating a little bit of my blood.
Colin has donated more than just a little bit of blood. With his donation on April 26th, he joined the Gallon Club, something that Houchin CEO Jonathan Bautista says is very uncommon at his age.
It doesn't happen very often. When you think about it, so it takes 8 donations to get a gallon, and he's been donating for the last 2 years, so he hasn't missed a donation.
1 gallon is an impressive achievement, but for Colin, it's just the beginning.
I plan to keep donating throughout my entire life as long as I'm healthy. It'll never stop for me, never stop.
Colin plans to attend CSUB next year, so he'll continue to donate at Houchin, and his donations will continue to help people right here in Kern County live longer.
It gives that person another birthday to celebrate, a graduation, more time with family. And that's what it means to truly save lives.
If you'd like to follow in Colin's footsteps and donate blood, you can set up an appointment with Houchin online at hcbb.com or by calling 323-4222. Reporting for 23 ABC, I'm Chief Meteorologist Brandon Michaels.
And stay with us. We'll have more stories coming up about those who are making a difference in our community during our Kern's Kindness Special. We're continuing to highlight those making an impact in our community, one kindness at a time. In this half hour, we'll take a look at some nonprofits and organizations here in Kern County that are making a difference. First, we'll take you back to October, where I showcased the work of a nonprofit helping one woman and how they rallied behind a 12-year-old girl battling leukemia. Each month, Helping One Woman, or HOW, hosts a community dinner to rally support around someone in need, someone who experienced what organizers call an irreplaceable loss.
Cancer really is an ugly monster. It really just turns your life upside down.
Brenda Corona is a previous beneficiary of HOW, and it was her experience with cancer and the support she received that's bringing her back to support this month's recipient, Ruby Padilla. Padilla was nominated for her 12-year-old daughter, Adriana, who's been fighting leukemia since last year. Ruby was nominated by a friend who attended a previous dinner, a tradition that carries the kindness forward.
You have to experience it yourself to come, to really get the feel of it.
It's the community coming out and showing up for one another. And sometimes we've had past recipients who have not seen people in years.
Attendees buy their own meals, bring a $10 gift, and can also contribute through raffles, silent auctions, or online donations. Every dollar raised goes directly to the honoree.
Adriana is her daughter, and Adriana was diagnosed last year with leukemia and has been in and out of the hospital. She's doing well, and then now she's kind of not.
For former recipients like Corona, the moment is one she'll never forget. For the organizers and attendees, each dinner is a reminder that in Bakersfield, even in the hardest times, strangers come together to lift each other up.
You really can never have enough support when you're going through cancer because almost every day is a bad day. When you have people rooting for you, supporting you, being there, it really makes all the difference.
And after all that heartfelt support for a family facing unimaginable challenges, our next story takes us to a place where strength, determination, and joy come together every day. Senior reporter Mike Hart takes us back to September, where he highlights hundreds of athletes with unique needs and how A3 Performance is lifting their spirits.
A3 Sports Performance is working hard to change the lives of hundreds of people in Kern County, from young athletes to elite performers and everyone in between. I'm Mike Hart, your senior reporter, and that applies to about 260 adaptive athletes that call this place home.
Let's go ahead and do our Frankensteins, Elijah.
Dustin Young is one of the coaches at A3 Sports Performance. How many different adaptive athletes do you work with?
Oh, man, throughout the week, I have up to about maybe 30, 40, just depending on who I'm working with that day. Today, we're going to be doing some squats. Elijah loves squats, doesn't he?
Ranging from anywhere of 6, 7 years old all the way up into senior citizens. Hector that was in here, cerebral palsy. We have children, teenagers, and adults with autism. Wide range of people with different abilities.
More than 260 adaptive athletes. athletes like Daniel.
How do you like this?
I love it.
I first met Daniel DeToy 5 years ago during COVID in a story on distance learning.
Do you look forward to coming to this
Yes.
every day? Do you really?
Yes.
Daniel has Janssen-de Vries syndrome, a rare genetic disorder. And while it might slow down this 16-year-old in some areas, it can't stop him in here.
And go. 5.
I love Dustin. He's the best trainer in the whole wide world.
From the first day I had him to where he is today is there's just such dramatic improvement. You know, I've really appreciated his willingness to trust me and to do things that are a bit out of his comfort zone.
And that lift that you just saw him do, so that was 225. So he just recently got into the 200 club that we call it. That was within the last, I don't know, month and a half, and he just continues.
Come on, Dan, lift!
The program has been lifting local athletes for more than a decade through a partnership with Kern Regional Center, and the results are inspiring.
To become one of the most impressive human beings out there.
I think that's attainable, right?
Yes.
We can do that.
Yes.
Ann Beckwith says many of these kids actually went on to compete for their elementary, junior high, and high school teams. With today's Kern's Kindness, I'm Mike Hart, your senior reporter.
Well, it's not just Bakersfield where you can find the community showing Kern's kindness. We take you back to July, where neighborhood reporter Sam Hoyle highlighted a church right in the heart of Shafter, making sure its community had the clothing that they need.
In the heart of the core of Shafter, the First Southern Baptist Church is seeing revitalization, not just through its preaching, but by its generosity with the community. I'm Sam Hoyle, your neighborhood reporter. The church holding a clothing drive the first Saturday of every month.
To me, being a Christian is not just coming to church and sit down. We have to do something for our community.
For the last 2 months, the church has been holding their clothing giveaways, helping dozens in and around Shafter, growing from helping 39 people the first month to 69 people this past month. Karina Pelias is one of the creators of the monthly drive and said anyone is welcome to stop in and take items if they're in need, noting she also hopes to continue to see it grow to help many more in the future.
We started 2 months ago, and it's growing. I cannot imagine in about 3, 4, 5 months how this ministry is going to be. And it's, as a Christian, you know, it's very rewarding to see that we are actually doing something to help people in need.
Spencer Carpenter, co-pastor at First Southern Baptist, says from his perspective, it's important to him to ensure the church isn't just preaching to the community, but helping as well.
There's both the spiritual ministry and the physical ministry, right? So we're getting the gospel message out, but also reaching the real needs that people have here locally. And so clothing, food, we're just talking about supplies, toys, you know, what can we do to help those in the community here?
Though the most recent drive is past, members are preparing for the next one at the beginning of August. As many prepare to send their children back to school, the church says they're not just asking for clothes, but school supplies as well.
We're really hoping now for the back to school, little back to school program that, you know, hopefully we can get some donations for backpacks and kids' clothes. That will be great.
And now let's head back down to Bakersfield, where neighborhood reporter Shantae Amani is taking us back to August, where she's highlighting how little libraries are being placed throughout the city in order to improve our county's literacy rates. Here's that story.
In certain Bakersfield neighborhoods, you may see mailboxes just like this, but when you take a look inside, you'll see it's filled with nothing but books to combat the reading crisis right here in Kern County. I'm Shantae Mani, your neighborhood reporter.
Megan Murphy, a teacher with the Kern High School District for 5 years, has seen a troubling trend. Literacy rates at West High have fallen to about a 5th grade reading level. Determined to turn a page, Murphy launched the Little Librarians Club.
What better way to do that than trying to get books into the hands of as many kids as young as possible before they become West High students?
A student-led effort to bring books directly into local neighborhoods. The club installed 8 free community libraries, small boxes filled with books right in front yards across West Bakersfield.
Students were like, we don't have any of these in our neighborhood, so I pulled up the map of little free libraries and we looked, and West High School neighborhoods only had 1 little free library.
Former West High student Sophia Escobar, who graduated last year, helped paint one of the libraries in February. This one inspired by banned books and her aunt's experience growing up in a country where reading wasn't a right.
By not growing up here, she has adapted, but still there's like some gaps in her literacy. She cannot fully
write well even in her own language. So I definitely feel that reading on all spectrums should be like a right.
For community members like Leticia Arvalo, having a little free library in her front yard is more than just convenient. It's a way to inspire the next generation.
The kids, when they walk through my house, they go to the stop sign right on the corner, that they stop and get books, and I see cars, they stop with families, and to me makes me happy.
Using a free little library is as simple as opening it up, checking what books excite you. Ooh, the celebration. And then, once you're done reading it, putting it back in or donating another book in its place.
Murphy's long-term goal is to expand into East Bakersfield, targeting book desert areas like Highland High, Foothill High, and Miramonte, but she knows it will take a village.
If they're not a West High student, find a teacher that would be willing to be a staff advisor and have them reach out to me, and maybe we can get a club started at their school.
If you want to find a little library in your neighborhood or donate, you can visit our website, turnto23.com, for more information. I'm Shant Tamani, your Bakersfield neighborhood reporter.
When we return, the stories that'll show you why giving to others isn't something that just happens during the holidays. A look at the new giving machines in Bakersfield and how a community member is helping his fellow veterans. Welcome back. As they say, it's the season of giving, and Bakersfield is celebrating kindness in all forms. We'll show you 2 stories about the ways the community is giving back to others. First up, we'll take you to a story of a unique vending machine in Bakersfield. Neighborhood reporter Riley Nagel shows us the new giving machines.
I'm Riley Nagel, your neighborhood reporter. This holiday season, Bakersfield is taking part in a national tradition for the very first time, one that turns a simple press of a button into a moment of kindness. Community members gathered outside the Condors Arena Wednesday night, soaking in the sounds of the season and learning about a vending machine designed to give, not take. Bakersfield will be one of just 128 cities in the country hosting giving machines.
Instead of getting candy or a soda out of it, instead people will have the opportunity to donate goods and services to several local nonprofits and 2 global ones.
Michelle Lord with Giving Machine Bakersfield says since 2017, more than 2 million people have used giving machines, donating over $44 million in charitable contributions.
We're just trying to make sure that our local nonprofits have what they need to keep going and keep serving and doing the wonderful work that they do.
100% of the profits will go to the Cap K Food Bank, the Open Door Network, Golden Empire Gleaners, Project Linus, the Salvation Army, and the Special Olympics of Kern County.
I think the giving machine's great. Once people donate and realize what it's for, then they're going to help people with Special Olympics. I raised over $3,500, but the giving machine can give more back for Special Olympic athletes like myself.
I just want to say thank you to the giving machine and to our local community. Come out and support us. Thank you.
Inside the machine, you'll find 5 cards for each nonprofit showing exactly what your donation provides. From $10 to $100, you can give everything from a warm coat to meals for families, even medical supplies.
The kids get the opportunity to learn how to give back at a young age, and that's always important. There are people out there who need help this Christmas time.
2 giving machines can be found at the shops at Riverwalk just west of DSW Shoes, open for donations through January 3rd.
Thank you very much, and we hope to see you out there.
For Bakersfield, this won't be just another holiday pop-up, but a chance for neighbors to lift up neighbors, one small act of kindness at a time. I'm Riley Nagel, your Bakersfield neighborhood reporter.
I'm Carla Sosa, your neighborhood reporter. I would like to introduce you to a Marine veteran who believes in giving back to his community and fellow veterans, one bus at a time.
40-year-old Johnny Contreras is a Bakersfield native and the first in his family to own his own business. Contreras was raised by a single mother and says his family is what keeps him fading into style.
I have a big family and a big support system, so that really it's an inspiration, and they keep me going because there's times as a business owner that it's difficult.
Contreras is a graduate of East High School and was in the U.S. Marines from 2005 to 2009. After his service, that's when he decided to go to barber school. After cutting corners at different barbershops, he decided to take a leap of faith and open up his first shop on Niles Street in East Bakersfield. Aptly called it Johnny's Barber Company.
It was pretty tough. You kind of find yourself in a situation where who do I turn to? Fortunately, I have some friends that are successful business owners, and I would go for them for guidance.
As a father of 3 young daughters, he still finds the time to give back to his community in any way that he can. And there's one event he never misses.
I volunteer and give out haircuts for the veterans at the stand down once a year. I've been doing it for 4 years now.
But his efforts to help others goes beyond one snip at a time. Any chance he gets, he enjoys guiding the future generation of barbers.
I was helping one of my apprentices, kind of guiding him with haircuts, helping him build that confidence.
Contreras has since opened 2 more shops also on Niles Street. Alexis Duran goes to Johnny's Barber Company a few times a week to learn from the man he considers a mentor and inspiration.
After talking to him for a while, like him convincing me to if this is what you want to do, give it a shot. And well, yeah, that's how I went to Boulogne School.
Contreras says another goal he'd like to accomplish is to one day have his own barber school. In Bakersfield, I'm Carla Sosa, your neighborhood reporter.
When we come back, we close out our Kern's Kindness special with stories of second chances, how one nonprofit is guiding people back on track, and how a unique prison program is helping men rewrite their future with the help of rescue dogs. Welcome back. As we wrap up our hour-long Kern's Kindness special, we wanted to take a moment and highlight some of the community members who are working to start over after leading troubled lives. Neighborhood reporter Eric J. Dockery and weather forecaster Grace LaVerriere introduce us to the people who are showing us the path to redemption just begins with a little bit of kindness.
For the past decade, a nonprofit organization called Be Finally Free has been saving lives in the community. I'm Eric J. Dockery, your Bakersfield neighborhood reporter. The group focuses on individuals who have made mistakes in their lives, but are ready to turn over a new leaf.
The organization helps a wide range of individuals who have been through the struggle, whether they are experiencing homelessness, drug addiction, probation, or behind bars. They open their arms to all because they believe everyone deserves another chance.
When people parole out or they get they're released, not even on parole, they don't know what to do or where to go or anything like that. So we'll spend the next year helping them get employed, go to school, get their life together, get their ID, driver's license, get housing.
Charlie Vanderboort used to be an individual who struggled with multiple things. But after his time with the nonprofit, he tells me he knew his calling was to help others who were just like him.
We're a big city, but small town feel. Everybody knows everybody, and if you want help, it's going to be there for you, and this community is going to rally around you and walk with you and encourage you. There was a client that reached out to us, and he was struggling with alcohol. He called, and I went to 2 different bars to find him. 2 different bars, sat there and walked beside him. Now he's in recovery. And he's doing great. He's got, I think, 7 months sober right now, and he's going to be part of his kid's life, and that's what it's about. It's about redeveloping yourself, coming back from that darkness, and just putting one foot in front of the other.
The organization has helped over hundreds of individuals see the light at the end of the tunnel, teaching them classes like courageous parenting, anger management, and how to not allow the poverty line shackle them to a corner.
It's taught me a lot of changed behaviors, like. A lot of times in our addiction, we keep doing the same thing over and over and over and trying to change our outcome to the same behaviors. But coming through Be Finally Free, meeting Debbie, I was given tools that I didn't know that I needed throughout my life. It changed my outlook at things and people and places and how to approach situations.
Organizers tell me they want the community to know this is a safe place. And if they are ready to take the next step in bettering their lives, their doors will always be open.
Be Finally Free is a life changer, and I'm talking from experience. I've been given tools to be a better mom, to be a better human, to be a better friend, to be a better than who I used to be. And I'm not trying to say, I'm better than the world, never that. But every day I strive to be better than I was yesterday.
When you think of a prison, you may think of gray walls and people passively waiting out their sentences. But here at North Kern State Prison, murals like this one tell a different story of what's happening on the inside. And the men I spoke with here tell me they are actively working toward rehabilitating themselves through the power of the connection between a man and his dog.
All she wants is just a little love and affection. That's it. I mean, who don't want no love and affection?
From the outside, you wouldn't expect a building within the A yard at North Kern State Prison to be a place where people are finding this type of unconditional love. On the inside,
good girl.
It's a different story.
Through giving the dogs a second chance, you realize you give them a second chance as well.
Clarence Lee and the other men involved in the program work with rescue dogs from Marley's Mutts to teach them basic training skills and, more importantly, build a trust.
These are just a few things we work on with her. And stay like she didn't know none of these commands when she first got here.
Come on, big fella. And it gets me through my day every day to wake up every morning to get to my program with him, and how happy he is to see me, I'm happy to see him.
Davon Love says having the dogs as part of their cohort brings a light into the often dark place of prison.
I can actually be myself. I don't have to be this tough person as somebody else. I could just be a calm, regular person, just me in my own world, bonding with a dog. You got a lot of people that this changes their life. People haven't had dogs in 10, 15, 20 years.
Sit. Good boy.
People like Pascal Goslin, now in his third rotation of the program.
I hadn't touched a dog in like 33 years. This dog in particular, because we did hear a little bit about the background story.
It's a story you may have heard before.
You can kind of see the trauma in him, right?
Phoenix and Tank are two of the nearly 50 dogs California City Police say they seized from an alleged abusive rescue called Perfect Companions in early 2025.
Good boy, stay.
Now they're working with men at the prison to learn how to trust again and to become ready for their forever home.
And what these guys have shown time and time again is that not only is this the right environment for them, this is the perfect environment for them. All of these dogs' needs can be met in here, while at the same time helping mutually rehabilitate their student inmate handlers. And it's just a beautiful symbiotic relationship.
Good girl, man. Some of us committed offenses to be in this situation, but having programs like this really is a great rehabilitation, and it teaches us patience, it teaches us about responsibility.
A common theme that came up with the people I spoke with was real change and a commitment, they say, to a brighter future.
Got my life together. I started changing, and dogs helping me change, because this is my way of making an indirect amends. I'm knowing whoever she goes to, they're gonna be happy, because I did my best with her and she did her best to overcome her trauma.
Now, all of the dogs you saw in this story are available for adoption or fostering through Marley's Mutts Dog Rescue. If you would like more information on how to become a forever home for these dogs, we'll have all that information linked for you on our website, turnto23.com. At North Kern State Prison, I'm Grace Leverrier, 23 ABC News.
And tonight's Kern Kindness Special has shown us what makes our community so unique. It's the people. From those lifting up our youth to those rebuilding their lives and those sharing joy in the simplest of moments. Each story is a reminder that kindness is not just an act, it's a choice that we make every day. We hope these stories have inspired you to look for ways to make a difference, big or small, right here at home. That's going to do it for us during this special hour. And remember, for your local headlines, you can head to our website, turnto23.com. Thanks for watching, Kern County.